Hey, it's time! We are now near the end of our journey with Pod 153, and this last week I've been brainstorming a method to display the pod and carry it around. Ultimately, as cool as a back brace would be, I know the cheapest and safest option would be to carry it around on a long pole. So now my plan is to break down this long pole into small 1-foot chunks. This would allow me to create a height that accommodates different con and prop and height restrictions. Then the plan is to mask the pipe in paint sealer that would reflect the light around me, allowing me to mask the fact that there even being a pipe in the first place. Another major point of contention was I needed to create a mount for the pod itself to be placed upon. So I took some T-joints, sawed a 1/4 inch on the top, and used a heat gun to loosen the joint, then repeated the heating process and closed them together. Now this creates a nice tight fit while allowing some friction for the pod to be posed around. Okay, this is great and all, but are we sure this will work? Well, there is just one way to test it. Pod, upload data on the last 120 hours.
Confirmed.
Arriving at Anime Expo 2025 on the days as 9s was intense. For context, I was only supposed to be 9s for a day, maybe 2 at the end of the con, but the heat was so intense that I ended up ditching my Kaya cosplay for 9s, which was a lot more breathable. Damn, was it still hot. Oh, Old Spice, my oldest love, thank you for helping me in these trying times. The heat was so bad that my pod ended up loosening at the joints where the mount was, so she was always in a Saki's position, which also caused a lot of stress on the central core unit, and this ultimately ended in critical failure. Going forward, I'm planning on using liquid cement and Mod Podge to fashion the joints together, but for right now, the friction in the arms will have to keep her in place. Lastly, one of the biggest issues I had was how heavy she was. She'd be a heavy girl, walking around 30k plus steps, really wears on you after a while. But if it wasn't for these failures, I would have met some of my other fellow scanner units, and ended up sharing our stories on how our pod always messes up, and being invited to one of the Nier cosplay meetups happening over there. Truly a spur-of-the-moment thing that ended up in me meeting so many fellow cosplayers there, highlight of the con. This was a good trial run, but I still needed more data, so on day 4, I ended up doing the baggy clothing tech wear fit, and donned the pod and white wig again, to see if any of the repairs I've done adding in more hot glue seemed to work. Spoiler, it did. And surprise, I also found another cool feature for my pod unit. Portable table! By the end of the con, it was truly a wonderful test run, and I was so happy to meet all the countless other cosplayer fans who gave me so many tips and ideas on my second version. Speaking of which...
Alert. Requesting information on unknown pod. Query. May this unit ask who you are requesting information?
Hello.
So I got bored and made another one, a while back during week 5. Same process, and honestly, damn, does it look sexy. So where do we go from here? Well, as for right now, I'm thinking about taking a step back from pod and focusing on other props again. Although, I'm not saying I'm done. In fact, I still have plans for these two. My next